And good afternoon, everyone. This is Randy here with Soldiers for the Cross on this Thursday, December the 25th, Christmas Day. Uh, you'll have to excuse me if I get in a little sneeze fest here in between scriptures. Uh, I was thinking doctor visit, and I thought, try Benadryl. Working pretty good, just takes a little while to kick in. But I hope you are enjoying your day with family and friends. Most of all, I hope you are enjoying your salvation. I hope you're enjoying the birth of a Savior, Emmanuel, God be with us, and that you've celebrated this day in the favor of the Lord. It's not about the gifts, not about the trees. It's not about any of that. It's all about the gift that Jesus Christ came to this earth and gave us. One, that we could never give ourselves. Two, we could never repay. And three, without that gift, there would not be an advocate between us and the Father, standing in His presence daily for our sins. So we were in Genesis, and we still are in Genesis. I said 35, I think, yesterday in a message, my discussion, and we actually left off in 37. So I'm going to kind of get you up to where I am right now. And if you would like to follow along, we went from 37. Now we've got Joseph. Remember, he had his dream about the sheaves and his brothers bowing down to him, and then the sun and the moon and the 11 stars bowing down to him. He got rebuked by Jacob, his father. So then his brothers really got to the point where they were like, this kid is on our last nerve. Let's take him out somewhere, kill him, basically, and tell Dad that a wild animal got him. And Reuben kind of stepped in. Reuben said, no, let's not lay hands on him. Let's throw him in the pit. And we'll take his coat, we'll cover it with blood, and tell Dad that he was attacked. So we can be rid of this guy once for all. And they seen the Ishmaelites afar off, and the Midianites wound up getting Joseph out of the pit, taking him into Egypt. He was under Pharaoh, made his way up into Pharaoh's castle, where Pharaoh basically gave Joseph free reign of everything that he had. Pharaoh was basically, if I have say-so over it, you have say-so over it. But as the enemy works, there was a little gap called Pharaoh's wife that the devil used to prey on Joseph with. Now, Joseph was described as a very fair man, handsome man. Pharaoh's wife wanted him. So she kept going to him, trying to get him to lie with her. And he's like, look, your husband's giving me charge over everything in this palace except you. And this wasn't Joseph's response. Joseph's response wasn't that I should not betray Pharaoh. Joseph told her, I will not betray God and sin against God by lying with you. You're a married woman. So, getting on with it, basically what happened, he took off fleeing from her, left his garment, and she yelled that he tried to rape her. And of course she had Joseph's garment in her hand, so the guards of the castle come and everything. And then her husband comes home, Pharaoh. She's like, hey, that Hebrew that you put in charge of everything is trying to mock us. He was trying to get me to lay with him, and I wouldn't. And Pharaoh, of course, he didn't question Joseph. Why would he second guess his wife? He had Joseph thrown in prison. And then you have the baker and the butcher. They both have dreams in prison, and they're trying to figure them out. And, Joseph is the only one that can interpret them. Or, I'm sorry, the butler and the baker. Butcher. Prison slang, I guess. I've never been. But, so basically, the butler is told, hey, look, the dream you had is that Pharaoh will put you back into your position. And that you'll return to the status you were. He told the baker, you are going to be hung by the neck. And the birds will come and eat your flesh. And the next day, that was exactly how it played out. So then Pharaoh has a dream. He has a dream of 7 kine, I guess they call them, like herd, sheep or animals. And the skinny rose up and ate the 7 well ones, the ones that were fat. So again, Pharaoh dreamed 7 ears of bad corn ate 7 good ears of bad corn. I'm telling you, man, this story just gets better. Pharaoh could not figure out for the life of him. Nobody in the palace could figure it out. Butler said, hey, I was in prison with a guy who interpreted a dream I had similar to that. And it's Joseph. I know he's not on your favorite list right now, but Joseph interpreted my dream. So Pharaoh called, Joseph came up and told him, said, what the Lord is telling you, he's giving you a forewarning. The number 7 is going to be the good. The bad is going to mean that you're going to have 7 years of famine. And then the good means that you're going to have 7 years of prosperity. So basically, God's telling you, stock up now for the 7 years of prosperity to get you through the 7 years of famine. And for Pharaoh, this rung a bell, and he's like, man, this guy's not talking. He could have changed this into something about himself and for me to free him. But no, he's talking legit here, because being the ruler of a kingdom, this makes sense to me, because I need to take care of my people and my land. And if his God is giving me a warning, then his God is the true God. So Pharaoh releases Joseph out of prison, reestablishes him back in the house. Not only that, puts him over distribution of all the produce and the grain and the corn throughout the land, that if people came and needed to get stuff and purchase stuff through the famine, Joseph was the one they went to. So Joseph has been on one crazy roller coaster ride. Now, here's where it gets good. Remember, Joseph was basically betrayed by his brothers, and all of them, were in agreement. We need to get rid of him, and so they're the reason he's in Egypt. But we're over in chapter 42, and famine is hitting Canaan pretty hard. In chapter 42, it says, now when Jacob saw that there was corn in Egypt, Jacob said to his sons, why do you look on one another? And he said, behold, I have heard there is corn in Egypt. Get you down thither and buy for us from thence, that we may live and not die. And Joseph's 10 brethren went down to buy corn in Egypt. But Benjamin, Joseph's brother, Jacob sent not with his brethren, for he said, lest peradventure mischief befalls him. See, he's still a little bit eerie about what happened to Joseph. So Benjamin, now being the youngest, he doesn't want anything to happen to him. And the sons of Israel came to buy corn among those that came from the famine was in the land of Canaan. And Joseph was the governor over all the land, and he it was that sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brethren came down and bowed themselves down before him with their faces to the earth. Remember the dream of the sheaves? Here it is. And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself strange unto them, and spoke roughly unto them. And he said unto them, Whence come ye? And they said, From the land of Canaan to buy food. And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew him not. And Joseph remembered the dreams which he had dreamed of them, and said unto them, You are spies, to see the nakedness of the land you are come. And they said unto him, Nay, my lord, but to buy food are thy servants come. We are all one man's sons. We are true men. Thy servants are no spies. We are all one man's sons. We are true men. Thy servants are not spies. And he said unto them, Nay, but ye see the nakedness of the land ye are come. And they said, Thy servants are 12 brethren, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And behold, the youngest is this day with our father, and one is not, meaning Joseph is dead. This goes on. So I'm going to create a synopsis here. Joseph is kind of giving them a hard time because he knows who they are. They don't know who he is. But at the same time, he's got tons of emotions going on inside of him. So he's basically telling them, look, you guys, I'm going to send one of you back to retrieve your younger brother. And the rest of you are going to stay in jail. And then the oldest says, look, let me stay in jail. Let the rest of them go back, because my father will be stressed out. He will surely die. His gray hair will go all the way down to the grave with him. And this goes back and forth until finally Joseph says, okay, you go back and then you come back to me. But if you don't have your brother, you won't see my face. Because Joseph was wanting to see Benjamin. And so they went back. They took the corn and everything. But here's the funny thing. All the money they gave him wound up back in the bags of corn they were taking back to Canaan with them. So now they think somebody done something to make them look bad, like thieves, to Joseph. So they're worried about this all the way back, and they get back, and they're telling their father Jacob about all this, and Jacob's like, you had one job. One job. And they kept telling him, well, they held out till the time came where they got short on corn again, and Jacob said, hey, you guys need to make another run down to Egypt and get more corn. And they're like, look, you remember what we said, Dad? If we don't bring Benjamin with us, the governor is not going to show his face. So Jacob pondered it. He wrestled around with it, went back and forth over it. And finally he sent him. And next to the oldest told him, said, look, if I don't return with Benjamin, you kill my kids. So they wind up going back to Egypt. Joseph sees Benjamin. He's happy in his heart, but he has to turn away, go to his chamber, cry, come back out, compose himself, get back into the role of the governor. And what this leads to is now Joseph wants to see his father Jacob. But not only see him, he's like, look, you guys need to bring everybody here. And again, they went back to Jacob. But this time there's a little twist. Joseph had one of his servants put his drinking cup into the brother's bag. And then he says, hey, I want you to overtake these guys on the way back. and tell them, hey, caught you with the goods. You've got the money again. You've got the drinking cup. That's my master's. You know, you guys just came to pilfer and get free corn. So this happens, and as you can expect, the brothers are like, they're beyond themselves. They're like, look, we did not do this. You know, we don't know what's going on. You know, there's some crazy stuff going on. And, sorry about that. It's God has opened up so many doors here. He took a calamity of Joseph being captive, put Joseph in a position of authority. Joseph lost that position of authority because he wouldn't sin against God. And God rewarded him basically double in strength. And Pharaoh sees this. Pharaoh is not oblivious to what's going on. And over in chapter 43, chapter 43, verse 26, and when Joseph came home, they brought him the present which was in their hand in the house and bowed down to them because father had him take some balm, myrrh, different stuff. And he asked them of their welfare and said, is your father well? And the old man of whom you spake, is he yet alive? And they answered, thy servant, our father, is in good health. He is yet alive. And they bowed down their heads and made obeisance. And he lifted up his eyes and saw his brother Benjamin, his mother's son, and said, is this your younger brother of whom you spake unto me? And he said, God be gracious unto thee, my son. And Joseph made haste, for his bowels did yearn upon his brother, and he sought where to weep, and he entered into his chambers and wept there. Then, of course, he washed his face, recomposed himself, came out. So the brothers are on their way back to Canaan, and when they're overtaken, let's see. And when they were gone out of the city, and not yet far off, Joseph said unto his steward, up, follow after the men, and when thou doest overtake them, say unto them, wherefore have ye rewarded evil for good? Is not this it which my Lord drinketh, and whereby indeed he divineth? Ye have done evil in so doing. And he overtook them. He spake unto them these same words, and they said unto him, wherefore saith my Lord these words? God forbid that thy servants should do anything according to this. Behold, the money which we found in our sacks' mouths we brought again unto thee out of the land of Canaan. How then would we steal out of thy Lord's house silver and gold? With whomsoever of thy servants it be found with, let him die, and we will also be thy Lord's bondmen. And he said, now also let it be according unto your words. He with whom it is found shall be my servant, and ye shall be blameless. Okay. Then they speedily took down every man his sack in the ground, opened every one his sack, and he searched and began at the eldest and left at the youngest. And the cup was found in Benjamin's sack. And the rest of the brothers, they rent their clothes and laded every man his ass, it says, and returned to the city. And Judah and his brethren came to Joseph's house, for he was yet there, and they fell before him on the ground. Joseph said unto them, what deed is this that ye have done? Woe, you think that such a man as I can certainly divine? And Judah said, what shall we say to my Lord? What shall we speak? Oh, how shall we clear ourselves? God hath found out the iniquity of thy servants. And behold, we are thy Lord's servants, both we and he also with whom the cup is found. And he said, God forbid that I should do so. But the man in whose hand the cup is found, he shall be my servant. And as for you, get you up in peace unto your father. Now, tomorrow we're going to get into, these guys have to go back and confront Joseph. his biggest fear just came to life. They are going to return without Benjamin. This ain't going to go well. So follow along with me. We're going to pick up in chapter 45 tomorrow and see what Joseph's response is. But this story just continues on. And man, what a beautiful story it winds up being. Again, you can continue to follow on, read ahead if you want. And getting these scriptures, keep continuing to follow them. I appreciate you following along with me. I hope your day has been blessed with just peace upon this earth and God's love through this day with you. And until we talk to you tomorrow, this is Randy for the Soldiers of the Cross. And again, we appreciate every one of you. God have his hand upon you. And until we see you tomorrow, God bless.